Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Rule Waves 3 as Japan. So, we have what is supposed to be a cruiser action, but for some reason involves our carrier fleet, which does not make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But what the hell do I know? This part is probably going to be a little bit on the shorter side because I'm recording it so damn late at night. So I'm just going to set my timer for 45 minutes, but we might only do half an hour. We'll see. Now, we should, in theory, have plenty of time for launching air operations. So, hopefully, we find the enemy relatively... What the fuck is the Hiryu doing? Well, your formation is apparently formation, which does not make sense. Okay, line ahead. That don't look like line ahead to me. That doesn't look like line ahead to me. What the fuck is the Hiryu doing? Set you to line abreast real quick. See if that gets the Hiryu to turn back around. We'll set you back to line ahead. So you actually do what the hell you're supposed to be doing. I don't know what the hell that was all about. We have some of the brand new Suma class light cruisers. Well, I say brand new. Are they brand new? I don't actually recall. They're newer at the very least, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, they're as close to brand new as we're gonna get. You know, mid-30s design. And I'm just gonna try to scout with them alongside all of the absolutely ludicrous amounts of land-based forces. Oh, and of course, weather limits air operations, so never mind, we're not getting anything. We will probably maybe be destroying some of these air bases because they're kind of pricey, and at this point, other air bases can easily cover those same areas. In the early game, you might need bases basically everywhere, but in the late game, not quite as much. Obviously, you want them still relatively close just for maximum response time and time on station when it comes to getting land-based cap. But generally speaking, in the late game, you don't actually need quite as many air bases. And okay, we finally found the enemy. Strike. We're gonna tell you to go for him. You know what? Screw it. 300-pound bomb. I'll live with that. I would much prefer if you probably dropped the 800-pound bomb, but I don't care enough to actually deal with that. So I think we will just go ahead and survive with the 300. Jesus, is this an older? Just give me the years. It does. The current one is the Yoko. Which actually, yeah, okay. The current dive bomber is a smaller medium bomb load. Change of plans. We're going to go ahead and say, everybody take the heavy bomb load instead. I'm pretty sure they're well within range anyway. So, strike, grab Carrier Division 22, Auto Strike. Nope. Heavies. And Ready Strike. Admittedly, won't be able to launch anything because of weather-limiting air operations, but hopefully we can keep an eye on these guys enough that if the weather improves, big fan of you guys crossing the T on me like that. Very accurate either. Guns. Which isn't surprising. Mostly relying on volume of fire. Air operations. I don't know why a drizzle hurts us that badly. Minazuki back here is avoiding torpedoes. Dealing with this just absolutely terrible hit chance. What's part of the reason for that? Well, you're firing at destroyers, which aren't very large. We're firing at them as they flee us, so we don't have a good target aspect. Obviously, them turning and whatnot. And that they are roughly at sighting range, as opposed to being well within sighting ranges. It landed a hit with a 4-inch gun, so that's always nice, for what that's worth. I mean, 4-inch guns will hurt destroyers, because they are unarmored. Since you're literally not allowed to armor destroyers at all. I don't know why you launched that torpedo, because it ain't going to hit anything. There's no good way to make this turn that doesn't risk a torpedo. I just have to hope the Grozny class here has already launched its torpedoes. Is really about the best I can do. You guys probably shouldn't be firing on the thing that's already dead in the water, but... There we go. That's a little bit better now. We want to continue to try to keep eyes on the rest of them. You guys really don't need to fire torpedoes at a destroyer. Destroyers generally don't recover, is the big thing, really. Once a destroyer is dead in the water, it's, generally speaking, not getting back up. Even if it is a 1,700-ton destroyer. Also, why 1,700 tons? Just, why 1,700? I'm pretty sure the range, or the sizes go something like 1,500 to 2,000. So why would you do a 1700? Just do a 2000. Oh, but it's more expensive. Yeah, but there's also more stuff you can do with it. So the fleet's slightly outrunning us. These design 1300 actually I think makes sense because I think it goes something like 1300 to 1500 and then it jumps to the 2000. For you to actually land some hits on the lead destroyer just because then it can't get away from us. If we can do some damage to it. Those are centerline torpedo mounts. So if you had any, I'm hoping you fired them when we juked left and then right. Well, technically right and then left. So you guys to hold fire for a bit. Stop holding fire. And if we can spot those guys again, that'd be great. But we're probably not going to. Those guys probably got away. What the hell's going on here with the light cruisers? What the hell are they doing? Are you guys confused as to how to get back? What the hell did you guys do? Were you, I guess, decided to reorganize who was the lead ship in the division? Why? Well, I think we're just gonna, rather than trying to chase down ghosts, because we're not catching up to those guys at this point, especially because we don't know where the hell they went. We're just gonna head back to port. In this case, North Korea, because that's the closest and we don't have to turn around for it. Is really the main reason. Okay, they did in fact actually have a CL, but yeah, they didn't have any CVs. I'm very confused as to why we brought our CVs along. Okay, sorry about that. Had to pause so I could resize this screen once we got back to it. You didn't miss any important events. It was some submarines and whatnot sunk. So nothing too important really. Let's see, what are we doing for relations? How are relations doing? Well, Russia's potentially, I mean, probably not. They're not quite high enough, but theoretically tensions could go up and Russia could end up in a war also with Italy and the US. And Italy and the US are allies. If one of them ends up in a war against Russia, both of them will end up in a war against Russia. And because we're at war with Russia, we'll end up in an alliance with the USA. Which I wouldn't complain about. I don't really care to fight Russia, but I would not mind letting it run long enough for the US to potentially go to war with them. It's just so I could get an alliance with them. And then maybe if we play our cards right, we can get a war with Britain. Because I would love to take some more of their holdings in Southeast Asia. But on that note, let's take a quick look at where I can potentially get rid of some of these air bases just to save some money, because they are pricey. You know, over time they add up. Obviously, game doesn't. I don't think anywhere the game will tell me the exact cost maintenance-wise. Yeah, I don't think this maintenance cost takes into account the cost of the aircraft. I'm pretty sure that cost is just the cost of the airbase itself. And of course, as we can see here, the naval air stations are, you know, a couple hundred each. So let's see where we can get rid of stuff. So, Naval Air Station Sasebo is... Okay, that is on the Japanese main islands. So, we're going to want to keep that. Let's go to just class so we can have all of these down here. So, Annam, that would be Vietnam somewhere. Am I way off? I thought Annam was somewhere in Vietnam, but apparently I'm wrong about that. Where the hell is Annam? Am I that far off? Really? I could have sworn it was somewhere over there, but apparently I'm wrong. Can't be. It's got to be over here somewhere. Baynard, Haiphong, and Thanhua. Well, I don't think we need both of those. Which one do we think is more important historically? I'll be honest, I don't really know enough about either one. We're going to go with Haiphong because I think I can pronounce that one easier. So, Thanhua, or however it's pronounced, is going to be destroyed. That base. And yeah, scrap the air units as well. I don't care to really deal with reserving them. Now, where the hell is Annam? I don't think we really need an air base in Shanghai, but I think we'll keep it. I'm still struggling to figure out where the hell Annam is, and I don't know why. I swear it was... I honestly could have sworn it was Vietnam. I really could have. But evidently that is incorrect. Oh, well, I'm reading it wrong as well anyway. It's Cameron Bay. It's really what I should be looking at, not the region. So, Cameron Bay, okay, yeah, that's Vietnam. South Vietnam. We'll leave that one, that's fine. Do we need the one in Fort Bayard when we have one in Hong Kong? Probably not, realistically. And the one in Haiphong can cover any potential assaults that we would have in and around Hainan. So I think we're going to get rid of Fort Baynard as well. Um, Now, do we need one in Kailung? I don't think so. I don't think having the one here in northern Taiwan is useful, realistically. But we'll keep the one down here in the south, so... Kailung. Get rid of you. Yep. Frees up money. Batavia will keep. And Sorabaja, I think we'll keep. But I think we're going to get rid of... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. Because you don't really have fights that happen on the southern coast of Java, in my experience. They almost always happen between Java and Borneo. Also, we may want to get an air base on Borneo, I think. Yeah, we're going to do that. Apparently that is something we have completely missed doing. We're going to put it over here on the west side. So let's get that built. We're going to keep the one in Rangoon. Let's see. I don't think we need the one in Dalny anymore. We'll keep the one in Port Arthur, though. Dalny. We'll keep this one here. We'll keep the one in Busan. Do I want both of the ones in Sasebo and Kitakyushu? Probably not. They're close enough that in combination with Busan, they cover this region good enough. And realistically, I think most fights that happen over here are going to happen, or well, rather, you know, on this side of Japan will happen to the south, where Sasebo is a much better base for defense. Kitakyushu, I don't think actually does much. Now, realistically, I'm pretty sure we can upgrade all of these bases, so we should probably do that. I'm trying to... I don't think Hakodate really has fights that take place around it, but Noshiro, I think, also covers where we need anyway for covering Vladivostok and Nachotka. So I think we can probably get rid of Hakodate, realistically. And Kushiro, I don't think actually does a whole hell of a lot for us. Question is, do we get rid of Korsakov or Wakanai? I believe there is a difference, though, here. So... where are they? I believe... no. So both of these are considered air bases instead of naval air stations, so never mind. Never mind. Doesn't really matter, does it then? They end up being the exact same cost. Korsakov is a little bit closer to up here, but nothing really happens up there anyway. But Korsakov also provides better coverage for here, alongside Ashana. And I kind of like to have that double coverage. Wakanai, I think we can probably get rid of. So I think we're going to get rid of Wakanai and Hakodate. So, Hakodate, scrap. And Wakanai scrap. That frees up quite a bit of money, and that is money that we can then dump into upgrading all of these bases because they need to be upgraded. I have absolutely no reason to not just upgrade all of them. So we're going to be dumping a ton of money into that. I'm sure it'll be fine. Also, something I just remembered that I should probably do. Nope, we already did it. Never mind. Must have done it. I must have forgotten about it. Was going to be putting a motor torpedo boat squadron in Burma. It turns out we already did it, so never mind. I don't actually have to think about doing that. Saves us the trouble. That is very useful because we don't really have a good ability to necessarily defend Burma all that well due to just a general lack of base capacity. Realistically, I should probably upgrade it. So screw it, we'll do that. We got a little bit of treasury funds we got to burn, realistically, to avoid issues. Okay, we got a cow that needs to be put into a fleet. Well, we got one destroyer that is not in a division, so let's do that. Okay, and continue on. Well, that's a coincidence. No, obviously, they'll decline that. I will fight you out here if you want to. I don't have any ships out in there, so I can't do anything there. Battleship engagement, you say no. I don't really blame you for that. Missioned another submarine. 10 ships finished working up. We can secure even better terms. If we crush them completely, a few more months will do it. Well, that's a wonderful tech to get now. Oh, shit, that sucks. That pissed off the Russians. Nope, don't care to do a coastal bombardment. Don't know why the screen Windows is just not wanting to play nice with the game today. And so the game is almost as if it's trying to go not responsive. Thank you for that. Jesus, that is a lot of 5-inch guns. That thing must have decent heavy AA factor. But of course, we didn't get that information. But 16 5-inch dual-purpose guns, probably quite a bit. Even if you don't have AA directors, although you probably do have AA directors. New improved model. What's the improvement? A bit more firepower. I don't really need firepower on a naval patrol aircraft. I mean, I'll take it. Because there's no good reason to decline it. But it doesn't really serve a purpose. Yeah, they won't be there for long. They're passing through as they make their way into Northeast Asia, or potentially even turn around and head back to the Indian Ocean. Let's see. I think we're going to use this budget surplus to queue up even. Well, actually, I think I'm going to queue up more minesweepers first. You want to do a carrier battle? I don't really feel like doing a carrier battle. I mean, should I have accepted that? Probably. Okay, heavy cruiser from the Chinese, the Chiang class. It's whatever. Two-phase search, and there's missiles, 1940. Italy. Thank you. This means the Americans might not be too far behind. Now, on to more important things, missile technology. We're going to place a high priority on that because that is very important to me. So we have gotten radar on some stuff, but not a whole lot of stuff. I think we're going to go and put ourselves onto fleet support since they have brought a sizable chunk of their fleet to Northeast Asia, so we might actually have a chance of doing some decent damage there. I want to do a cruiser action just off the coast of Hokkaido. I question that, but okay. I accept. And clearly you've decided to accept as well. I don't think this is going to work quite as well as you had hoped, but I guess we'll see. We do have some of our CVs out here with us. So they get 0 support. And I have all the support. I think this is going to go very poorly for them. Ooh, that is very close to us. And I'm not a big fan of it being right next to where our CVs are, if I'm being completely honest. We're going to tell the CVs to haul ass and turn around. Because we really don't want one of our CVs getting hit with anything. I don't care what it is, 5-inch guns, torpedoes, whatever it is. I don't need them getting hit. Okay, and we've detected more enemies out here on radar. So we're going to bring the rest of the fleet in on this. We are claiming a BB out here. I do not believe that that is in any way correct. But I mean, it is a possibility. I just don't think it's true. We do claim a CV, which I personally feel like that's probably not a CV. It seems just a tad bit too maneuverable. But I could be wrong. And I'm not. Now, the thing we're claiming as a dreadnought might actually be a CV. I could see that being the case. Yep, no, you're not centerline torpedoes, which I shouldn't be shocked by. I think we can only do that on 7,000 and less, and you are... Well, you're 7,000, so okay, it must be even less than 7,000 right now. I believe it does get higher, though. We just don't currently have that tech. We are about to be able to actually see something other than what is directly in front of our faces. That'll be very helpful. We could identify some of this stuff. Who is it here that's taking a beating? You head to port. Try to get the hell out of here. Low clouds are still limiting air operations. Also, I think you guys can slow down just a little bit and probably turn around. What the fuck is the Hiryu do? God damn it, Hiryu, I swear to God, you're pissing me off. Why are you on screen? What the fuck are you doing on screen? It's not even an option. How the hell do you get put on screen when that's not even an option for your formation? The Hiryu is trying to get itself killed. I'm just going to put that out there. It is trying to get itself killed because every battle it has been in, it seems to be doing this thing where it just goes out and does whatever the hell it damn well pleases, even if that's going to get it killed. And I don't know why it's doing that. If it wants to die, I would much prefer for it to do it in a way that does not embarrass it. If you're going to get sunk, at least do it because, I don't know, you got hit by dive bombers or something. Not because you're an idiot who decided to try to frickin' Leroy Jenkins the enemy fleet. You're a carrier. Your job is not to fight. Well, you know, it's not to gunfight, more accurately. Your job is not to get into a gunfight. Eesh. I'm gonna have to really slow you down because that is a lot of flooding. It's a good thing. I'm pretty sure we put some points into damage control. Well, not points, but training into damage control. But if the low clouds would clear so I can actually identify this supposed dreadnought, which is probably a CV. If I had to make a guess, I'd get the feeling you're probably not making it home. I don't think the sumo's going to have to do some really, really good limiting of flooding because it is way too far along for me to be comfortable with it. Why are you just sitting there? You are supposed to be trying to head home, so head to Kushiro. Thank you very much. The crew of the Suma is trying their damnedest. Your flooding increased because of high speeds. What the hell hit you that you are... Okay, you've taken some 8-inch guns. Probably from the CAs up here. Yep. Torpedo. What are you launching torpedoes at that you think you're gonna hit? Okay, yeah. You need to slow down. I'm gonna have you brake south. So you stop getting shot at for a little bit. And, okay, that thing that we said was a dreadnought is in fact not a dreadnought. It is just another armored cruiser. Which doesn't surprise me in the least. Yep, sure, go ahead, pick up survivors. I'm going to put you Squadron Max again. Since you've dealt with your flooding, you're hopefully going to be okay. Don't quite go straight north like that. Oh, happened to your accuracy? Your accuracy just suddenly dropped. Yep, go ahead, pick up survivors, everybody who's down there. See what fancy techs we can maybe steal off the Russians. We're landing 10-inch hits, so that's always nice. Dead in the water? He's dead in the water. Okay, you guys turn around. He's flooding again. Nope. Okay, good. You guys also don't need to be screened. Go line ahead. He was. Catapult got hit. That's fine. We're not launching anything anyway. Not side of them, but we lost identification of them, so I'm unable to check the reported speeds for the designs we were claiming that they were. Which is something I just realized that I probably should do. I can see if it's just the sea state limiting ship speeds that's causing us to not be able to quite catch up to them, which is probably the case, because, yeah, we're being limited to 22 knots. See, the Nikolaev is... Jesus Christ, that is fast for a heavy cruiser. What did you do? What the hell did you forego to enable you to do that? Because I feel like that's not a good design. I really don't think it is. You have basically no real belt armor. This is slightly heavier armored compared to a light cruiser, because those max out at, I believe it's 3 inches of belt. Well, actually, I don't know if they actually max out at 3 inches. I believe they did in Rule the Waves 2. But I think in Rule the Waves 3, you can actually put more than 3 inches of belt armor on a light cruiser. Is there a good reason to? Not really. Is there a good reason to put 3 inches? Admittedly, in some cases, maybe not. I do it just because the idea is it makes them harder to be killed by the main thing that they're going to be trying to chase down, which is going to be enemy destroyers, which tend to be armed with relatively small caliber guns. Obviously, in the early game, 3-4-inch guns. Later on, 5-inch guns is generally the norm. Although maybe you do 4-inch guns, you know, you can do that. I don't. I always stick to 5-inch guns, although admittedly, 3-inch dual-purpose guns are better in the long run than 5-inch guns. Which I suppose you could do, because in the late game, once you get missiles, you're not really going to be relying on guns for killing your targets quite as much. You're probably going to be trying to focus more so on just a mass volume of missiles fired at the target to overwhelm the point defense systems. Well, technically air defense systems, but we'll just call it point defense because I prefer the term point defense. As I was saying though, yeah, just to overwhelm those, and then voila. I mean, you have the guns, they exist for once everybody runs out of missiles, but your initial engagement in the late game is going to be a missile fight. It really is. Is having a hard time keeping up, which is good because it means we might be able to actually engage it. Maybe get a torpedo off on it. But it also seems to be slowing down the rest of the fleet, so I'm inclined to say let's black flag this and tell our guys to do a fleet attack. So that the destroyers try to get in there with torpedoes. Although they may or may not be able to really do that, you know, with the whole sea state limits ship speeds thing, so they're not quite able to try to overtake. Had to double check that they didn't have torpedoes, and they don't. But had to double check because, you know, there's nothing stopping the Russians from deciding to put submerged torpedo tube mounts on an armored cruiser in the 1940s. Well, I was going to say the 1930s, and technically it would be the 1930s for the design. I don't... You actually still have torpedoes, which I'm a little bit shocked by. I'm very much surprised by that. I'm going to have you attempt to turn. And try your luck. I don't think you're going to hit. They ended up just passing under them. Oh shit, the Takao. What the fuck was that torpedo? I think that was the Akatsuki that did that. What the fuck were you thinking? Okay, well, the Takao's gonna have to try to limp back to base because it just got torpedoed by a friendly. Suppose I should not be surprised by that. Who's like a torpedo now? The Okikaze. I don't think your torpedoes are likely to have any decent chance of hitting a friendly. Yanagi, you have torpedoes left, but you don't have a firing arc on the dude I want you to go for right now, though you might in a second. There you go. And And I think that hit the magazine. It doesn't say, we just got 3 hits and he exploded, so I'm pretty sure it hit the magazine. We can double check on the Nikolaev. Hibiki has torpedoes, and it's launching them one at a time just to try to get hits in. Ooh, that's a big volley there for that one. And all they have left is this one destroyer that just refuses to die. Okay, you are going to go Squadron Max to get away from this Nikolaev because I'm pretty sure its guns are still somewhat active. Although it does not seem to be shooting at you, luckily. If they are active. So this was supposed, I'm pretty sure the game said this was a carrier battle. Or no, it was a cruiser action. Okay, for some reason I thought it was a carrier battle. If it was a carrier battle, it wasn't much of a carrier battle because you literally couldn't frickin' launch aircraft. But nope, I was misremembering. Oh, the Suma sunk. That sucks. That really does suck, actually, because, again, that was one of our new designs. I'm not sure what this destroyer is thinking. I'm thinking it's going to attempt a torpedo run. Also, I need to turn around because it's going the other way now. You guys are not going to have a good chance of hitting. But there's a lot of people shooting at it, so somebody's bound to hit at some point. And maybe actually do enough damage to... What the fuck is with these torpedoes? I swear to God. Our guys suck with these torpedoes. Okay, and we are going to have everybody turn around because we are done here. There is nothing left to fight. Yep, pick up any survivors that you guys come across, but yeah, we can leave. They might have some carriers out there somewhere, but we have no means of hunting them down realistically. We got nothing for that. Yep, okay, they did have some CVs. They were way the hell down there, but let's go ahead and check on those Nikolaevs. Annoyingly, the game does not tell you the ship class here, so I have to literally just sort of click on each one. Here's Nikolaev. Did you take torpedoes? You took 3 torpedo hits. You might be the one I'm looking at. And yep, torpedo magazine hit. Ship blew up by the Unagi. Now, I do want to go ahead and double check on the Takao. To double check who the hell was the one that friendly fired you. Pretty sure I know who it is, but I want to double check it. And yes, it was in fact the Akatsuki. And okay, they were way the hell down here. I don't think we would have ever detected them, realistically. Actually, the Hoshon here you maybe possibly could have if I'd kept them around this area. But if I'd kept them on the heading they were going before I told them to head back to base, they would have been way the hell out here somewhere, basically, as these guys were passing through. And I had no real reason to say, hey, let's hang around this area. Otherwise, I would have done that. So, we didn't do it that way. We told them to come back to base because we had no opportunity to be able to hunt down the carriers. If weather wasn't limiting air operations, we maybe would have stuck around and tried to find them. I mean, we probably weren't going to be successful, but we could have at least attempted it. Okay, airbase in Borneo finished. Wonderful. U.S. honors alliance and joins Italy in war against Russia. Don't let them off lightly. Better heavy AA and medium AA effectiveness. Wonderful. Rebellion in Egypt. Wonderful. We should be getting an alliance with the U.S. soon-ish. Now build. Do I have? No, we do not. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and design a brand new light cruiser because we do need to replace the Suma. Now, I'm not a big fan of the center impose that you opted for, game. I would probably more so prefer a forward center line or even a midship potentially if we're going to do that. Let's see. Do we do a forward center line or an aft center line? I mean, the aft center line looks nicer just because of the superstructure, but also that is way, 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 way too small. How big of a center line can we do? I don't recall. Is it 7,000? It is 7,000. Okay. So let's do a 7,000 ton. Where the hell is the torpedo tube? There it is. I do need to get rid of one of these boats. Not that boat. Not that boat. Not that boat. It is the 30. Yep, it's the 30. Remove that one. Thank you very much. Let's see. I want to pick that up to 6. Okay, never mind. I can't actually do that. Okay, now you say it's too heavy. I won't fault you on that. I'll agree. Let's do 180 rounds. That gives us just a little bit of weight left over. If possible, I would love to get a... I don't think I can afford to actually do that. Let's get rid of the aft center line, because yeah, I don't care for the aft center line. And we'll... stuff around just a little bit. There we go. That's a bit nicer looking. You don't need 4 AA directors. I feel like that's absolute overkill, and I don't think there's a real benefit for that many. We'll do 1. We can always add more later if we deem it necessary, but I don't think we will. Well, let's get rid of the mines. That frees up a little bit. Now we're sitting right at the weight requirement, or the weight remaining, right on the edge there, with a little bit of topside space left over. Can I maybe? Probably not, actually. We can still try it. There we go. That leaves us with 31 weight remaining. Is there any way that I can free that up? Probably not beyond dropping the speed to 30 knots, which I'm fine with 30 knots. I don't really care for my light cruisers to be like frickin' Speedy Gonzalez going at like 35 knots. So I think we're going to go ahead and stick with this. 7,000 tons, 30 knots, 3-inch belt, 2-inch deck, 2-inch conning tower, turrets and turret top. 5 turrets of 2 guns each with 5-inch guns, dual purpose, 180 rounds per gun. 2 light AA guns, 10 medium AA guns, 1 AA director. A single torpedo tube mount. And you know what? Screw it. We will give you torpedo reloads because I'm only giving you the one, so it would help if you have the opportunity. And then, of course, you know, the usual seaplane helicopter hangar with 2 aircraft and then centerline swivel mount catapult, which is just absolutely massive. And realistically, we're going to go ahead and I think move it forward just ever so slightly for graphics purposes. Although realistically, it might look better at the rear. What if I do an aft centerline? That looks okay, but I'll have to readjust the aft turret placement just a little bit. Unless the graphic is not quite looking right for that, so we won't be doing that then. This is purely graphics. This literally does not impact the actual functionality. Thank God, because if it did, it would... This game would be a lot more in-depth if you had to actually make sure that stuff did not interfere with each other like that. And I'm very thankful it does not work that way, because I would probably not enjoy the game if it did. I have no secondary guns, but that being at a odd number was annoying me. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and do it like this. Ooh, do I want to spend the extra and get your diesel now before we have the weight savings? I'm inclined to say no, but you guys would have better acceleration. Okay, yeah, no, we're not going to. Actually, no, I wouldn't be able to. Never mind. Because, yeah, no, we're sitting right at the topside load. Change of plans. We will give you 4 AA directors. These will help significantly down the road. As of right now, they're admittedly not doing a whole hell of a lot. We basically gained 14 heavy AA factor by using up all of this weight for 4 AA directors, but as tech improves, they will go up significantly. And it's not an exaggeration in any way. Your heavy AA factor can get absolutely ridiculous down the road. But it's going to be a little while, realistically, for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and do this. And that is going to be it for this episode. I will see you all next time. I have some rebuilds I need to plan for some destroyers. But we're probably going to have to send these into the yard. To do that, which I don't mind doing. But God, is it expensive? Yeah. Do it like that. Gives you a little bit of heavy A factor, not a ton, but it's something to work with at least. Do I want to go ahead and send the Minakazes in now? I don't think we specifically need the Minakazes to win, so I'm inclined to say, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and just send them into the yard now so we can get it out of the way, especially since I already designed the upgrade. And I'd probably forget what I did if I wait till next time, so yeah, screw it, we'll do it like this. You guys really don't have a lot of AA. It's hard to stick a lot of medium and light AA on a 1100 ton destroyer. It really is. 1100 tons is not a particularly good size, honestly, at the end of the day. Just give you light AA, you can... yeah, you could like just barely eke it out if I gave you just light AA, but we're not going to do that. You guys just don't get to have any mines, unfortunately. Or any mine laying capabilities, which is okay. We need to add that to the Hakazes and the Mutsukis, just for what it's worth. But specifically for those, that can wait until after the war. Speaking of, okay, we have 2 Suos. The one is going to be out in 8 months, so that's great. Let's see, what do we want to do? I think we're going to use some of this budget to go ahead and actually order up some more sub-hunters and even more minesweepers. We are losing a little bit of money right now, but that's okay. We've got a lot of stuff in the yard that needs to be worked on, so it'll be free later. It'll be free later. Just need to wait a little bit. Um, 1633 with 12 months to do that. I'll do it. Screw it. We need to get bigger yards anyway. We are well behind the curve. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily hampering us in any real noticeable way. But we are definitely behind the curve when it comes to dock size. And in Rule the Waves 3, dock size does matter a little bit more than it did in Rule the Waves 2, even when it comes to going higher. Rule the Waves 2, there wasn't really tons of reasons to go above 50,000. But here, if you're going to build a bunch of stuff, you got the shipyard capacity, which is impacted by your dock size. So yeah, that is actually something you need to keep an eye on. Though realistically, I've never been hampered by my shipyard capacity. And I attribute that probably in large part just due to the way the game handles. I'm going to remove that from the division because holy shit, is that an ancient ship and it should not be in a division anyway. We're going to have both the Awamis there. You're going to be the flagship because of course you are. Even though your commanding officer is not the greatest. Okay. Yep, I think that's going to be it for this part. Like I said, I will see you all next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.